right, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute privilege to bring to the stage at this time, he is the one, he is the only, Steve Burns!
Now I have so much water.
You have, can you ever have enough water?
No.
Oh my gosh. How's the weekend been so far for you?
How's what?
The weekend. It's been a good weekend?
It's been cool. It was hot in there, though, right?
Yeah.
It was like really hot yesterday, but today seems like chill.
Yeah.
So.
That's fair. To kind of start, I just wanted to let you know that everyone thinks you are the nicest person ever. I have to completely agree. But I know that
Wrong.
we're about to change that right here during this panel. But everyone that's like met you or had an interaction with you at all this weekend just thinks you are so absolutely lovely. So thank you for being so wonderful and kind.
Thank you for saying that. You know, that's such a lovely thing to say to somebody. But these events, I kind of look at it like, you know, what can I give back kind of thing, right? Because you're all like, thank you, Steve, thank you, Steve. And I'm like, dude, no, thank you. You know, and everyone's saying such nice things that you'd have to be a real dick to not be nice.
It happens so, Steve. It happens. Who put the googly eyes on your badge? Is that you or did somebody?
Oh, somebody else did. Sam did. She has like a bag of googly eyes, and I was running around the hotel rooms putting them on everything. And
amazing, as one should.
That's a fun game, by the way. A bag of googly eyes is a fun time.
Yeah. I'm gonna play now. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to kind of ask you about is you had the opportunity to visit Antarctica.
Oh yeah, I do have things to talk about.
Oh, we have so much to talk about. Yeah, what was that like?
Well, okay, so this is the way that happened. Has anyone in this room been to Antarctica? Nope.
We have someone going. Okay.
Wait, someone's going? You're really going to Antarctica? What's your name? Amy. Why? What? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's exactly what I was thinking. You will see. All right, let me tell you something, Amy. There's a thing that you don't yet know exists that I didn't know existed, and it's called penguin fatigue. And you will experience penguin fatigue in Antarctica after about 4 hours. You will see so many penguins. So many penguins. And they are hilarious. There are many different kinds of penguins, but the best ones are the chin strap penguins. They're like as big as this microphone, right? And they're so cute. And penguins are like these creatures of habit, right? So they dig like little roads in the snow. They dig paths in the snow, and they're like little roadways and stuff, and you're not allowed to get anywhere near them, right? They can approach you, but you can't approach them, right? And they have no fear of people whatsoever. And the way they walk, they always look like they're about 10 minutes late for work, because they're like that, and they'll just stare at you. If you're in their way, they'll be like, and you move away, and they're like, yes. Penguins smell terrible. That's something else that you'll learn.
Oh, noted.
But my friend, I broke this chair. My friend is still kind of a highfalutin travel agent, right? And she called me one night and said, there's a ticket available on the National Geographic Explorer to go to Antarctica, and you know how hard it is to get there. And that there's never tickets available on that ship. It's like, you know, waitlisted for years and years and years. And she was like, you're the only person I know with the schedule to go. You have to make up your mind by tomorrow morning. You want to go to Antarctica. And I was like, just like you. I was like, I want to go to I want to see the world. That counts as part of the world. So I made this crazy, most impulsive thing I ever did. I made this crazy decision to go to Antarctica, and then I had to get the ticket the next day, and it was crazy expensive, and I only had like 2 weeks to prepare, and I had to go. I went to Patagonia first. I went to Ushuaia in Argentina, and I put together the biggest trip of my life. I put together in days, and it was really, really weird. You don't have context for Antarctica. There's nothing that you've seen in the United States anyway that prepares you for the vastness of Antarctica, the nothing of Antarctica. And it's so weird and otherworldly. I remember I went right after my father passed away. Right, and I think that the concept of just like escaping the world into a vast emptiness felt like the right thing to do with grief, And I remember one morning, I guess, because the sun doesn't really go down, I remember one morning we were below the Antarctic Circle, and there was just nothing in front of me forever. There was ice in front of me forever. And it was the weirdest feeling. I felt so small, like insignificant. And it was just so cool that I stood there for like an hour and a half. And it was cold, and I'm just standing at the end of the ship. And I remember feeling my father, like kind of standing next to me. He would have loved this because he was a Navy guy, right? He would have absolutely loved this, and I kind of felt him next to me, and I was like, yeah. And I kind of remember feeling him say, like, boy, this is really remarkable, isn't it, Stephen? And I was like, yeah. And then he said, what the hell are you doing? Like, why did you come to the edge of the world? And that was a big moment for me, just to sort of think, there's profoundness in the world around me wherever I am. Do you need to go to the end of the world to find it? But I got to jump in the water. I swam in the Antarctic Ocean, and I went kayaking around, icebergs, and I saw whales. I saw a lot. You're gonna see so many whales. The whales are the best part. Yeah. The seals are actually the coolest part. Yes, I keep revising my opinion. All right, I'll see you guys later.
So you were saying you wanted to visit every continent. Where are you on that journey?
I haven't done Africa yet because it's too big. It's like every time I think about doing it, I'm like, where to start? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems that I'm overwhelmed by the concept of going to Africa. The easy thing to do is to do North Africa, right?
I was going to say, I want to hear about Steve on a safari. That's what I want to see at the next panel.
Yeah, but I mean, that's so up my alley that, like, I don't want to do Africa until I can, like, really be there and, like, really do it, because it's just so vast, Australia is something you can just kind of go to if you can get there. It's like there's just a couple cities to see, you know what I mean? But Africa is so ginormous. Yeah. Well, traveling is so cool. I always think that's like, I feel so blessed and so lucky to have gotten to do it. And I've done it two ways in my life. I've done it like kind of semi-luxury style, and I've done it dirt poor. Like dirt poor. Like, first time I was in Europe, it was like frightening. The amount of nothing we had when we were there, and it was awesome. There's a difference between vacation and travel is something that I've learned. And travel's way cooler than vacation.
There. Well, to pivot away from the penguins, you recently spoke at Northern Michigan University.
Where?
Was it Northern Michigan?
Yes, Northern Michigan. I was there, yeah.
I wanted to know if you could give us a little insight, because you have been very open about discussing your mental health, and I wonder if you could give us a little bit of insight about that.
Well, I actually don't talk much about my mental health, other than to say that when I was working as an actor, my job was to be the happiest person in the universe, and I was battling severe clinical depression the whole time, really. And I just didn't know that that's what was going on. with me. I just knew that my job was sometimes really, really super extra hard, and I couldn't figure it out. And I felt really unqualified to do that job. And I felt like I wasn't the right guy for it, and that they must have had the wrong guy, and that I was a fraud and an imposter and all these things. I learned retrospectively that was very much about depression. Right, but there's nothing extraordinary about my depression. There was nothing unique about it. You know, I believe that struggle is not optional in the world. I think that it's part of being a human being, no matter who you are. If you're a gazillionaire, if you're, you know, a plumber, if you're a rodeo clown, or if you're the happiest dude on kids' TV, it doesn't matter. People will struggle to some degree, you know, and then it just becomes about how you deal with that, you know. And what I learned was really valuable in my life was to look at someone and say, "Hi, it's me. Will you help me?" That was huge for me. That was advice from my past that I took into my life. So, yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I get it. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So before we do get to questions from the crowd, you guys can start lining up. And when you are, while you do, I kindly ask that you are respectful of SAG guidelines. Like I mentioned before, if he can't answer something, he will not. I guess let's just go right to it. And this is our friend Nick.
Can I say something first?
Yes, you may.
And just to be clear, right? I mean, I don't know how much you guys know. I'm sure you've been familiar with it. But the actors are on strike, right? And that's about residuals, and that is about royalties and streaming. And I am with it, right? I stand. I stand in complete solidarity with the reasons that it's happening. And so please don't ask any questions about and don't try to get cute about it, like, because, you know what I mean? Because I won't answer them, and I want to have a conversation if we can.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the best thing is
please respect that. I appreciate. I know you will. But
it gives us the opportunity to be creative and get to know you in another level. Go ahead, Nick. What's your question?
Have you watched any other kids' TV shows besides, you know, BC?
I don't watch a whole lot of children's television, you know, because I don't have kids, and I think there's part of me that just sort of cherishes a break from that world because it was just so into it. But I have favorites, you know, like I was a big fan of Sesame, still am, still think it's wonderful. Fred Rogers, I think, is the untouchable pinnacle of all. Bluey's funny.
Great question. Thank you for asking. All right. What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Amanda.
Hi, Samantha. How are you?
Amanda. That's my sister's name.
Hi. Hi, Amanda. How's Samantha?
She's great. Well, my question is, like, I see you, like, in comedies and stuff like that. Who's your favorite damn, I'm not recording.
Redo. Got to record. Okay.
Right, my name is Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. How's Samantha?
She's fine. Well, I just want to ask you, for being a comedian, who's your favorite comedian, like?
I don't know who my favorite.
Marlon Wayne.
No.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like him.
I'm trying to think. Like, who do I think is hilarious?
Yes.
I don't know. Steve Carell.
Yes, thank you.
Prison Mike, man.
Yes.
The Office in general. That whole cringe version of comedy is that gets me. You know.
Thank you, Steve.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Great question. All right. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Kaya.
Kaya.
I went to your booth yesterday.
Yeah, I
and
remember you. You okay, Kaya? That's okay. Take your time.
We are all you, Kaya. We get it.
Do you wanna like gather and then come back and then cut the line?
We're rallying.
No, she's
you,
back. She's
girlfriend.
back. She's back.
Okay, he's just like you and me. He's a great guy, just you and me, okay?
Thank you.
I just wanted to tell you that I used to watch Blue's Clues when I was in the hospital. And when I was a little girl, I had a liver transplant. And just when the nurses and the doctors, they come into your room as a little kid, you're so scared and you don't know what they're gonna say, and just turning on that orange VHS tape helped me so much, and I know it helped other kids with different disabilities and everything. And I know you talked about like mental health and stuff, and it's like you helped me during that time when I was little, and it's just amazing that I'm so blessed that I get this opportunity to just meet you and talk to you, and you got me through a lot of times. My mom's right there, and she was with me in the hospital. She's my superhero, and I just want to say thank you so much, and you mean the world to every child and inner child. It just means a lot to me, so thank you.
There's not a lot that I can really directly say to that, except thank you. How are you? You look great, by the way. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm so glad everything worked out.
I had my liver transplant when I was 4 months, so I'm 23.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, Mom. Oh, Mom. That must have been, oh, Mom. Yeah, you are a superhero.
Ooh, deep breath, right? I know.
Come on, y'all.
All right. What's your name? What's your question?
I'm Josie. I'm not going to compete with that question. Anyway, anything you want to do before death? Like, it doesn't even have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be like wanting to try something out. I don't know. Not a good question to ask, but I'm so sorry. No!
Like a bucket list item, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like
You know, in Buddhism, one of the best things, or the best thoughts to hold, is this question. It is. It's if death alone is certain, and the time of death uncertain, what do you do?
live.
You know? I honestly have spent some time thinking about that question, and I don't really know the answer, but I think it has something to do with being kind. Seriously, like, I think it has a lot to do with, like, be nice first. Yeah, that's a bigger question than I feel like I can answer right now, but I will say, what is your name again?
Josie Corey.
Josie, I will say that that is an excellent question for us all to hold as we leave this GalaxyCon and go out into our galaxy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was going to say, Steve, something that I've been like practicing a lot of, especially this year, is learning to be like present in the moment more and just really enjoying and like, you know, being present in this panel and with all of you guys right now and just appreciating this moment and everything. It's a tough thing to do, but yeah.
Awareness is the thing, right? You know, and the real trick is learning to be present with the moments that aren't fun. Yeah. You know, and accommodating those as well. You know, that's the real move. If you can get going with that.
That was a move too, Steve. That is quite
That's
the
called
move.
a chair. Oh, can't say it.
Okay. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi. Ooh, my name.
You're good.
My name is Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Hi. And yes, living with a disability as a kid is very hard. I watched Blue's Clues as well. It was just such a wholesome show all the time. And my question was, you're from, I'm probably going to butcher this, but you're from Boyertown,
You got it right.
Okay.
100%.
So I have friends that are from Boyertown.
No, you do not.
I do, and I told them that I was gonna come to this panel and I was gonna see you today, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta ask him what his favorite spot is."
In Boyertown, Pennsylvania?
I know, right?
No, that's obvious. The answer is Zern's Farmers Market, and it's not there anymore. But that was the best spot in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, without question.
I just got a little.
Who were your friends?
My friends, Evelyn, Charlotte.
Last names.
Oh,
You're on a first name basis, Steve. That's what's happening.
Evelyn Pavola.
Don't know her.
Yeah, it's okay.
But that's cool.
She's gonna be so mad at me.
What a weird, cool coincidence, though. Please tell them I said hi.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
What a great question. What's your name? What's your question?
I'm Seymour. Hello.
Seymour. Thank you again, by the way.
Oh, no problem.
Seymour made me, I'm allowed to talk about this, but I made a rock and roll record in like 2003 with my favorite band, a band called the Flaming Lips, right? And we became friends, and we went on tour, and we did all this stuff. And we made a record, and Seymour, and that was 20 years ago, right? And Seymour made me a graphic novel of my record. I cannot tell you how badass this thing is. I mean, it's not only just like so amazing that someone did this for me, but it's actually like really good. Thanks again.
Oh, no problem. So I had a question about your EP deep sea recovery efforts.
Okay.
Okay. On like your website, it said it was
I have a website.
your old website.
Okay.
It said that like it was supposed to release in like 2009. Oh, what happened to it?
Honestly, I just didn't think it was good enough.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, nah, I don't hear an album here. The songs were cool. I thought there were a couple good songs on it, but I just didn't. It didn't sound cohesive. It didn't sound like an album to me. You know what I mean? So I just didn't release it. I've been writing music actually a lot lately, so I might do that. If only I could find someone to do album design. You know.
Never find that.
Well, I wanted to say that I do listen to deep sea recovery efforts more than Songs for Dust Mites.
Really?
Yeah. I thought I feel like, not to sound rude, but I feel like, some people would like that more than Songs for Dust Mites.
Yeah, but I don't.
Teach their own.
That's kind of what I don't like about them. They're a little vanilla. You know what I mean? To me, they just sound a little too polished. With the other ones, it sounds like the Flaming Lips. It's like, it felt more like the impulse I had while writing the songs. With the newer stuff, it just felt like I lost that in the production process, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting deep here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Seymour. Amazing
Thank you.
question.
Thank you, obviously.
Yes. All right. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Joe, and I just have a real quick question for you, Steve. You are an absolute national icon because I watched you for so many years doing that show that I'm not going to name.
Right, because you can't name it legally, yes.
But I do wanted to ask, is there anyone that was a true inspiration for you to be the person that you are today?
To be the person that I am today?
Yeah.
Oh, that keeps changing, but I think that we always need those people. Obviously, my dad, but we all have, what we call wise witnesses, someone in our life that we kind of, I always try to have someone in my life that I imagine observing my life, and what would they think, what would they do, and I've had many in my life, teachers, the lead singer of the Flaming Lips, people who have been real mentor figures to me. But it changes, you know, when you meet someone you really admire, you know. But yeah.
Great question, Joe.
That was a great question.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Michaela, and I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Hey, Michaela.
I wanted to ask you, when did you, what made you, I want to know, where does your drive come from to make music? Currently I graduated from college, and I wanted to become an animator, and matter of fact, due to your show, I loved the animation of that time. It is actually what kind of inspired me a little bit. But the thing is, sometimes I don't feel like I have what it takes. A lot of times I feel like, you know, so small around so many people, and I just want to know where your courage came from and what helped you to want to be a musician.
It is an act of courage, and I don't know where it came from, but I can tell you that I've always had this willingness to step off of a cliff into the universe and see if I will be led. You have to be unafraid to fail. You have to be, and I don't just mean like to go out and make it. I mean to do anything creatively, right? It's so much about failure. And I can tell you, Michaela, that everyone I know who has made it big, like really big, or who is a very successful person in the arts, works 8 billion times harder than I do. They are hard-working people. It's about discipline. Like it was described to me once as a boat, right? And everyone thinks that your boat needs a sail. And you need this sail, and that's your inspiration, and that's the wind of your inspiration and soul blowing you across the ocean into the sunset. But without a rudder, you're not going to get anywhere. So you need both of those things. And the best people, you know, if you read biographies of like famous authors, famous actors, famous anyone, they have both, and they dedicate a lot of time and energy to the ugly, unfun stuff. You know, a lot of it is discipline and practice. From what I've observed, I lack discipline and practice in my life, but from what I've observed, it's a lot about that. The courage to have discipline, I guess.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Amazing. All right. What's your name? What's your question?
So my name's Powell, and I've not really ever talked about this with anyone, but I've always been kind of like a really depressed person. And when I
Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to talk about this here?
Yeah, I'm okay
great.
with it.
All right, go ahead.
So I've always been like kind of depressed through like high school and like some of middle school and throughout my life, with my mom off and on having health issues and everything. And watching your show always brought me joy. And when I started learning more about you, I discovered your music. And when I found your music, it really helped me find a better place in life, and finding out that you take risks and all this other stuff. I'm willing to take more risks in my life, and I'm willing to go more into my life and get farther into my life. And listening to your music is really inspirational to me, because you're one of my musical inspirations in life, and one of my just like life inspirations in general for like my whole life. And From Everywhere is like one of my all-time favorite albums. Dust Mites is one of my all-time favorite albums. Everything You Do is I think you're like one of the greatest people ever. And my question was, how did you become friends with the Flaming Lips and create From Everywhere?
Thank you for saying the nicest stuff ever. That was cool. Thank you. I hope you're okay. Okay. How did I meet those guys? Good story. Okay. I listened to their album at a party, And I heard 30 seconds of one song and flipped out and froke out and left. And this is back before like digital music, so I went and bought the CD and went home and listened to it like 500 times. And I became obsessed. I hadn't heard music that I liked that much since I heard David Bowie. I was like, who are these people, you know? And it was an album called The Soft Bulletin, which every music critic loves and no one does. But I loved that record, and I became obsessed with them, and I found their producer. I knew a guy who knew their producer. So I got him a 4-song demo, and I sent it to him, and he called me back. And he's like, hey, aren't you the guy from the kids show, you know? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, I listened to your demo mostly to make fun of it. And he's like, but there's a couple of good songs on here. Did you write these songs? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, why did you send them to me? And I said, well, because I'd love to work with you someday. You know, I just talk about that courage thing, Miguel, you know. I was like, because I want to work with you, man, you know. And he said, well, I've got 2 weeks coming up where the band I'm working with has some time off. You can have that 2 weeks because I'll already be at the studio. So I went up to his studio in the woods in New York, and his studio's in a cabin in the woods, and upstairs is where you can stay when you're there. And the band that he was working with was the Flaming Lips, and they were recording an album called Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. And they were staying upstairs in this cabin, and I was like, what, you're shitting me? I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, you should go say hi. So within 10 minutes, we were sitting on the floor with acoustic guitars laughing, and we became best friends, and it was like, boom, right? And then the guy who plays all the instruments in the band, he plays literally every instrument in that band. He was like, is that your music I hear downstairs? And I said, yeah. He's like, some of it's really bad. He's like, that one song is pretty cool. I have a great idea for a string line on it. Would you mind? And I'm like, no, I would love that. And so he started putting like little synth lines, and he played drums. And then he was like, you're cool, man. I actually like this music, you know. Can I just play on these? And it just happened that way. And then I basically would say, well, here's my other terrible demo. Can you make that brilliant too? And that's kind of the way it happened. And then they took me on tour with them, and I opened for them for that album in the UK. And I was really bad, but it didn't matter because it was a dream come true. And now we're still buddies to this day. Yeah. They say never meet your idols, but I did, and it was awesome. So
Sometimes meet your idols. Great question, and thank you so much.
and thanks again for saying all those wonderful things.
Yeah, thank you. My favorite songs by you are Troposphere and Mimic Octopus.
Hey, those are two of my favorite too. Thank you.
I have to know, since you mentioned David Bowie, do you have like a favorite like time of David Bowie, favorite album, favorite?
Yeah, Hunky Dory. Life on Mars era. Yeah. The songwriting's just insane.
Yeah,
you know.
so good. All right, what's your name? What's your question?
Hello, my name is Haven, and
Hi.
I would like to know if you just have any life advice in general, like can be serious or silly, either one.
Yeah, I do have life advice. I hate giving advice, first of all, because I just don't feel qualified. I just don't feel like a wise man who can give you advice. But I will say I noticed one thing that panned out in my life. When you're like 14 or 15 years old, at least that's when I remember, I felt like everyone was saying, you have to have a dream of what your life is going to be. What's your dream? And now you have to define it when you're that young. And now you have to decide on a career that is that dream. And now you have to work so hard toward that very specific goal. And if you don't achieve that dream, you've not achieved success, right? And if you've not achieved that success, it's because you haven't worked hard. That sounds like a bad way to be happy in this world. I can tell you that what I ended up doing, what I'm most known for in my career, was not my dream. It had nothing to do with my dream. I never intended to do that. It was never anything that ever crossed my mind. But it was actually cooler than anything that I could have dreamed. So I would say, don't be a slave to your dream. You know, your dream can change. And don't be afraid to explore the dream adjacent. There are wonderful opportunities in there that might take you to places that you, even further than you ever imagined.
All right.
See what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we got it. We got about 10 minutes left, Steve. All right, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Demetrius. I actually have one question. Can you please sing the male song for me?
We're not allowed to do that.
That's exactly what I'm not allowed to do.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Do you maybe have like another fun question you want to think of for him? Maybe like your favorite food, yeah.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for asking, man. And I'll tell you, I'm doing pretty good. I've been doing a lot of these things, and I'm getting tired, like traveling and stuff. And it can be hard to meet this many people in 3 days. And I don't know if there's anybody else like this, but I'm a deeply introverted guy, and I need to recharge. You know what I mean? And I hope that I've been able to be present with every single person, but that is tough, you know. And if I'm being honest, if you want the real, I'm getting kind of tired.
Yeah, I can see.
You know what I mean? But I'm having a blast, and this is so fun talking. This is my favorite part, is this stuff. So, but thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it.
That was a perfect question. All right. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
If you were a dog breed, what breed would you be?
What would I want to be, or what would I be? I think I'd...
Or a cat.
If I were a cat breed, I would be a dog. If I were a dog, I would want to be a scrappy, heroic mutt. You know what I mean? With like a bandana. Like just rifling through the woods, saving something. Or maybe on the back of a pickup truck. Or like a freight train all scampy. But I'd probably be a French bulldog. Yeah. Like this big, real short, bald looking.
What a cute question. Amazing.
That was a great question. Yeah.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi.
Awesome shirt,
Daniel.
man.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So first of all, I would just love to say the people who were at the LeVar Burton panel know what I'm talking about.
Oh, he's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Did he correct you grammatically?
Yes. But first of all, I would love to say, as I said to him, on behalf of everyone in this entire room, thank you so much for making our childhood what it is and what it will be.
And everybody, thank you for including me in the conversation with someone like LeVar Burton. Like, that's just such an honor. Like, that's wonderful. So thank you.
And my actual question, I have a little brother. He's 3 years old, and his name is Steven. He absolutely loves your show, and I would just like to say, what do you have, if you would like to give any advice for him and growing up with all of the challenges that he's going to face?
It's hard to give advice to a 3-year-old. Don't eat yellow snow. Don't do it. I would say when you're 3, all you do is wonder and don't stop. Hold that, keep that, because wondering makes you wonderful. It's true. Think about it. Always look, I guess I can do this. Always look for the clues that add up to something more. And always listen to your friend.
Great question.
Thank you so much.
Can I use that same advice as a 37-year-old, or does? Okay, great, fabulous.
Hello, Steve.
Hi.
My name is Joshua. I am actually a local from around here. I live in Cary.
Hey, cool.
About an hour away from here, there is an aquarium in Greensboro that has an exhibit for the African warm weather penguin. Tiny little things, right? And apparently they live in the wild in South Africa, all over the coast. If you're looking for a place to go to, like a place to start with that continent, that should definitely be a place to start, if just to see those wondrous creatures.
All right, cool. But again, man, I'm telling you, penguin fatigue.
There is no such thing.
I disagree. Get on a ship to Antarctica. No, thanks, man. Yeah, that does sound awesome.
It is a pleasure, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for the recommendation.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, I love your frames.
Thank you. My name's Eli. I came up here not knowing what I was going to ask. So, what is your favorite video game, if you have any?
I don't play video games because of this reason. I bought an Xbox a million years ago and played Metal Gear Solid for 16 hours.
That's not as bad as me.
Then I gave my Xbox to my nephew. I was like, I can't have this. I would not come back. Games are so cool now. I would not come back. I wouldn't be here. I'd be gaming. So I don't do it.
I had a game, Hollow Knight. I've 112%ed it. My save file has over 70 hours on it, so
So you know. You know, Eli.
Yeah.
Well, you made it out here, Eli, so good to see you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, we have time for maybe 2 more questions. I'm so sorry. All right, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, mine will be quick. I'm Fox.
Hey, I remember you.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Hi again. What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh, Bowie, Sound and Vision. Flaming Lips 1999. I know you guys don't know them, but that was really good too. You know what was good? The Joshua Tree. U2 used to be so good. Then they got not good. But they were like amazing. Yeah. Were you an Unforgettable Fire fan? No, just Joshua Tree.
Yeah, mostly Joshua. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one right before it. Yeah. That was the one that I liked. But that was good. What else was good? I went and saw the Carmina Burana played by the New York Philharmonic at Carnegie Hall. That was mind-blowing. But yeah, I'd say those.
Thank you so much.
Great question.
You know, like the Counting Crows were here last night.
I know. I actually kind of dig them. That guy's a really good songwriter. If you listen to the lyrics to that Mr. Jones song, they're like heartbreaking. And that Round Here song is heartbreaking. He's got a weird voice, and it's not what I love, but he's a crazy good songwriter. He's like he's clearly worships Bob Dylan.
All right.
Hi there.
What's your name? What's your question?
My name's Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
Funny thing that video games got brought up earlier. One of my favorite things about Indigo's Hints is that it had a couple of games, and I was wondering, like, what was it like? If that's all right, what was it like for the process of working on that game? If you're allowed to mention that.
I think I'm allowed to talk about process. Where's that? Can I talk about process? Oh, yeah, okay. Yes, I could talk about that. Yeah. So back in the day when I worked on a video game, it was all on a blue screen, obviously, and there wasn't morphing technology. Right now it'd be so easy to do this, but then it was not. So I would have to stand there like this and then go, why don't you look over at that thing? And then return to exactly this position. And if I did it like this, it was right. If I did it like this, it was wrong. So it was really tedious. It was like extraordinarily difficult work. It was the hardest thing. It was the hardest thing I ever shot.
But it was visually impressive in the end.
Oh, great! I'm glad that worked because that was the hardest thing I ever worked on. Actually, it was.
All right. I do think we have time for one more question. Okay. We're gonna take one final question. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Tiosa.
Tiosa, thank you so much for keeping the neighborhood safe like that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Yeah, it's my pleasure. So me and my partner actually took a picture with you yesterday, and it was just a crazy time. You changed our lives. And
During the picture?
It was life-changing. So my partner Charlie had a question for you, but they're a little nervous, so I'm here on their behalf.
A surrogate question. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's actually not that serious. As a person who does work on a lot of, visual media, do you have any favorite books, that you have read?
From a visual standpoint? I don't understand the question.
Just,
My favorite books?
Yes.
I have favorite authors. I have favorite books, I guess. You know what I did? I read Moby Dick. That was a hard book to read. It took me it took me 5 tries, but I got through it, and that book is worth it if you really go for it. Kids' books, The Giving Tree, I think is the best book. Do you really? Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, that one makes me cry. My favorite little kids book was There's a Monster at the End of This Book. Do you remember that book? Grover. But I have favorite authors. I liked Cormac McCarthy. He rest in peace. Philip Roth is a great author. What did I just read? I just read some Jonathan Lethem book that wasn't very good. But I actually need a book. So if you have any recommendations, let me know.
Awesome. Beloved by Toni Morrison is really good.
I've heard that's great. Okay.
Thank you so much. We're at time.
All right, great.
Before we
did it, guys.
Yes.